Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. This is just lovely and beautiful. It really is. No matter no matter how crazy this whole thing is and is about to get, when I come on here, honestly, I'm going to say it again, and I read this live feed here with all of you. It just makes me smile. This is a great, fantastic community that we have built. It's a family, as far as I'm concerned, and I feel the love. I really, really do. And Mark, I am totally with you. I can't listen to the corpse tonight. I won't do it. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm doing. Right after this video, I'm going drag racing over here at Bradenton. I'm gonna make some 8-second quarter-mile passes at about 160. I'm hoping with the Copo, and that's gonna take my mind off everything. I can tell you right now. Anyway, so yes, post-market wrap-up. Did I say that? Anyway, this is what we're gonna talk about. A lot of things here. So just so you and I can, get up to speed. I think we can all agree. At least I hope we can. And if you have a different perspective on this, it's fine. But I want to hear from you. I think we can all agree that the spot we are in right now is not because of a comedy of errors. This is not a mistake. Everything that we're seeing here is being driven. It's a and I mean long-term plan by central banks working together. We're going to talk more about that in a moment, to bring the world economy to its knees, to bring the consumer to their knees, to dismantle this system only to issue in a new one. Now, as you are well aware, the bad economic news doesn't stop. Round after round after round of it, and we got a whole bunch of it today. And we've covered right here on this blog. The faster the economy free falls, the higher the market's going to go. Well, guess what just happened today? A new record high for the S&P 500. This doesn't surprise a single person. I am certain of it that follows this blog. You and I, again, we are so far ahead of the curve. It's almost scary. I mean, people would think we have some kind of like inside information. We don't. Okay. You and me, we just study this stuff around the clock. We're raising our awareness. We're putting the pieces together. We know who our enemy is. We know what they want. It's very, very simple. And that should scare you a little bit, because the setup here, they want to create madness. They would love to see civil war. You understand? The U.S. military has been armed to the teeth and then some. That was President Trump's job. All right. His job wasn't to start wars. His job was to build the military to what it is today, and he did a damn good job at it. It's the truth. And now this machine, this war machine that has been built, is going to be pointed everywhere and inward. So they are hoping to drive people out of their minds come the election selection. You know my take on this. The armies on either side are already being built up. You know that. This is being set up. They want to steal more of our liberties and freedoms. And they're hoping for a violent uprising. Okay. There are other ways to deal with this. All right. But they are hoping who are they? It's the Federal Reserve who's funding this entire thing. And along with other central banks working together, no comedy of errors here, to destroy it all, to issue a completely new system, one of maximum control. We, the people here, I say there's a lot more of us than there are them. Okay. If we could raise public awareness as to what's going on, I think we could do this very peacefully. Again, if we can we need to prevent central banking, period. It has to end. If we are living under the rulership of these central banks, and Trump ain't taking away the Federal Reserve. In fact, he's talking about making it stronger here as he's campaigning. Listen to what he's saying behind the scenes here, and what's coming directly out of his mouth. He wants to put a super dove and replace Powell in there so rates will come down. Already talking about how the dollar is too strong. You're going to be kidding me. This is the same stuff we heard last time. What is this going to be, a continuation here? And the current freak, this guy doesn't know if he's alive or dead, asleep or awake. He has no idea. None of what's going on. And I think that's pretty evident. You understand that? I mean, it doesn't matter. I've been telling you a million times. You could put my beautiful Evil Knievel doll here. Hello, Evil. You can put him behind the Resolute desk. It can make no difference. It's a puppet. It's a spokesperson that is meant to keep people locked in some kind of twisted mind screw on a grand scale. Now let's talk about some of the economic news that we got today. Are you ready for this? Okay, now none of this is going to surprise you, but it sure surprised the economists that were polled. So the U.S. trade deficit widens another 5.1% in January, the largest in 9 months. Really? No one saw that one coming. Really? No, we did. 217,000 people last week filed for unemployment claims. Now let's talk about how about this? You're gonna love this one. Does this year, does that mean anything to you? Yeah, the scamdemic. Layoffs rise to their highest for any February since the scamdemic. Wow. Now let's see. Who was it again? Yeah, you and me. You and me. We called this at the end of last year. Please look at the videos that I did at the end of last year. I said this was going to be a major theme. It's one of the things that we covered here in this freak show of a year. Expanding war, more deceptions, more distractions, and more layoffs. And this is not done. Okay, people are being, but this is how strong our economy is. The freak tonight, let me try to do it. I can't even do it. Help me, someone, please. Anyway, the thing tonight is going to tell you how strong our economy is. You think he's going to bring this up? You think he's going to bring up the fact that debts and deficits are hyper-ballooning faster than we've ever seen in history? You think this is just by accident? Jeffrey, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, bro. You know exactly what I'm saying. But does this surprise you? No, it doesn't, because you knew ahead of time. It's unbelievable. Now, I want to talk more about the banking issues that we're seeing, but I also want to bring this to your attention. I'm getting like agita right now. So Christine La Gargoyle, the Gargoyle herself, it came out today downgrading the economic growth forecast that she said we were supposed to have, but now it's being downgraded because, you see, they don't know how to tell the truth. All they do, these people, these freaks, okay, they string the public along. The public's not that stupid. I have tens of thousands of European friends. That's the truth. And I hear from them all the time. Greg, they say to me, Greg, you think things were bad over there? You got to come over here and check it out. I mean, look, we got gargoyles, we got mummies and freaks running the entire show. So what else? What else here? Now, I wrote this too. I want you to be aware of more here. Even more trouble for the banks. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. Because you and I, again, look, I love saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't give a damn because, whatever. We can toot our horns a little bit sometimes because you and me called this before anybody else, mainstream media and or otherwise, the problems with these institutions here. But understand what they're going to do. They're going to bury this stuff here through the selection cycle here. Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to know that there are bank runs going on right now. People are pulling their cash out of these institutions faster than ever. But I'll tell you the unfortunate part of this. This is a two-sided coin. What people are doing here is pulling their cash, again, out of these smaller institutions, smartly so. Some people are getting caught on the wrong side, but then they're putting their cash into the mega banks. The mega banks are getting stronger. Now, I want to read this to you real quick, and I want you to pay attention. This is really, really important. And I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna read something to you, this right here, and I'm gonna ask you a question. It's almost like a test, like in school. Something is missing. I'm gonna give you a clue. What I'm going to read to you here, this is Reuters. Something is missing. I want to see if you can pick up on it, right? Because it was the first thing that came to my head. Let's see if it comes to your head. All right, here we go. So Reuters, the credit rating agency Moody's said today that it was downgrading its outlook for the banking sector in a number of European countries as weak economies erode profits. It changed the outlook from negative to stable for the banking sectors of Germany, Britain, France, and Belgium. Lovely. The Netherlands and Sweden. It's all going down the toilet. That's not what's missing. Okay. Rising losses for unpaid loans and higher funding costs will chip away profits, Moody's had said. A deteriorating operating environment, thank you, Todd, with low economic growth. Wait a minute, low economic growth, and higher inflation? I thought these things were getting better. Uh, these are going to hit credit growth as well as loan performance in the largest European countries. What's missing from here? Did you hear it or did you not hear it? The United States. They will not talk about what's happening here because you see, we are a beacon. The United States is a shining light. Can't you see it? Oh, coming down. You gotta be freaking kidding me. We are in the worst shape of them all. The worst shape of them all by exponents, in case you don't know. But you see, you can't know that because this is a selection cycle. People, you can't make it up. But there you go. Now, I want to cover a couple of other things. Look, before we do that, let's just throw an eye back on the freak show market. Again, record high for the S&P 500. No surprise, this market's going much higher. You're watching the 10-year yield. Who's buying all the debt? Well, all of you here, every single one of you, is way smarter than Greg Mannarino is. I can promise you that. You're watching the 10-year yield like me. Drop, 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 bang, 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 bang. Who is buying the debt? Again, you know how this works. The 10-year yield drops when debt is being bought. There's a big entity out here with an enormous amount of firepower, right, Lou? Lou Diamond 84, thank you. Buying a lot of debt. We were at 4.3 and change just like last week. All of a sudden, we're just dropping like a rock. Yes, some of this is the expanding war. And you and I covered it. We said, watch what's going to eventually happen. This thing is going to expand. There's a little bit of safety here. People fleeing to the perceived safety of that. But there's also something else going on. This isn't just that. This is some other entity, and I'm going to give you one guess who it is who's buying the debt here, because this mechanism is why the S&P 500 hit a record high today. People, there's no secrets here. You all know this. You're all watching it like me, and you're saying, watch what's going to happen. Record, record, record. Yeah, we had that little sell-off the other day. I bought. You bought. A lot of you guys wrote to me, bought on that dip. It wasn't enough. I wish we felt more. But again, how can that happen when you have this mechanism where you have a monster out here buying epic sums of debt? Do you see what's going on here? Anyway, with that, as I said, 10-year yield cratering. Let's see where that goes. Maybe we'll get below 4. You got the dollar today. The dollar index now well below 103. The Dixie falling about 0.53% today. Crude oil didn't, a little pressure here, but not too much. Gold and silver quarter bid. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, they're doing well. Bitcoin is trying for another run, people. Watch what's happening here with Bitcoin. I keep getting questions about it, and I am sorry if I don't answer you individually, okay? But because I cover it here. I already said what's going on. Bitcoin is making another run, and it could bump up against resistance again and come back. It's going to take a big push to shove Bitcoin above the recent high. And then we'd like to see it climb a little over that, make a nice little pullback, form a new floor, and go up. That's where it's going to go eventually here. Now, speaking about Bitcoin, let me show you a big, lovely piece of propaganda. Oh, yeah, I already told you this. Did you want to see the Gargoyle? Yeah. Do we look alike? No, no. Keep this in mind, because I want to talk to you about that in a moment. Okay. Now, before we get to the Gargoyle again, who just European, the European economy is in shambles like everything else is. We're coming apart worldwide. So this is just a piece of propaganda I wanted to discuss with you. So Wall Street, listen to this. Wall Street is divided on whether Bitcoin is frothy and will undo Fed's rate cut plans. Keep this in mind, what I'm about to tell you. If you took, and I talk about this a lot, the entire market cap of cryptocurrencies worldwide, you took it all, and you put it in a big, lovely pile over here. It's about the same size as Apple, Microsoft. One of these, Microsoft is actually bigger with like over $3 trillion market cap. The entire market cap is about 2.6 trillion. And whatever Bitcoin does has nothing to do with the Fed is going to do. And that goes back to the Gargoyle. The Gargoyle. What is that? Clever Custom. Thank you. What is that? What is this? What is this? Anyway, I want to talk about this. All right, you and I, what do we know is going on? What has been going on? Well, what seems like 1,000 years. Central banks, none more so than this one, the European Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve, work in concert. Now, what have we been talking about? June, May, June. I've been kind of zeroing on June, but I've been saying May, June, May, June. This is when it's going to happen. And whatever comes out of the Federal Reserve's mouth or our so-called policymakers, they only work for the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, obviously, too. Whatever comes out of their mouth, the Federal, understand what I'm going to tell you, please, okay? They are not data dependent. The Federal Reserve is on a fixed pathway. So is this, okay? Why? And I've been telling you this repeatedly. They already have the economy by the throat. That was goal one. Goal two, take the consumer down with it, but continue to inflate. Find a reason, another reason, make it up out of anything here, okay, to inflate. Now, again, how does the central bank, how does the gargoyle here cut rates? Does she just say, hey, look at me, I'm hot and sexy, I'm going to cut rates? How does she do it? How does it happen? How does the central banker do this? By printing cash, epic sums out of nothing and getting into the market and buying the debt. Hence, like what you're seeing right now with the 10-year yield dropping. Do you understand? People have no conception of this. They believe, maybe because they're too naive to do their own research into this here. But they're not magical. Central banks were not sent from heaven nor hell. Okay, these entities here, they run it all. And it's greed and it's corruption that brings down every single, has throughout history, people brought down every single so-called civilized civilization here. And what we're seeing now is the same thing. But this time, they got a bunch of super elite people who are pulling all the strings. It's a handful of people who run the world. A handful, literally. And they do not have our best interest in mind. But you see, you and I, we know what they want. We know what their plan is. And it can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. The next freak who's put behind the Resolute desk is going to make sure one thing happens. You want to hear what that one thing is? The 1 and 2%ers get richer than they are now. That's what they're going to do. There's no doubt about it. You may hear a lot of nonsense about that's not happening. Oh, it's all that happens, okay? And then again, going back to my thesis that there's no such thing, nor has there ever been a trickle down. Oh, let's make the 1 and 2%ers richer and richer and richer, because you see, they're so rich that we're all gonna live in their trickle down effect. We're all gonna live in it. Yeah, we're getting showered in urine is what's going on here. That's what a trickle down is. Don't exist. Understand? I think you guys and girls do. Let me just make sure I got everything. No, let me ask you a question. A couple of things I just want to get your opinion on. What do you think about this? These layoffs here, all right, as we called since the big scandemic. This is a joke, okay? Banks, you know, missing. The United States is not here, obviously, and we're in the worst trouble of them all. The June rate cut. These are things I'd like to hear from you about. As we have been saying is going to happen here, because this bank, this central bank, and the Federal Reserve are working in tandem, and they've been doing this to destroy the economies of Europe and the United States and around the world. Central banks are doing this, as you know. They got the consumer done. They're going to make them beg on their knees for a new system, because that's what they're doing here. Dismantling the entire world. See, look, the current financial system is in its death throes. How do we know that? Let me see. How can Gregory Mannarino, this guy, how could Gregory Mannarino make such a statement? How could he do that? How can Greg say that it's in its death throes? And the answer is in our faces, because we are witnessing a phenomenon that you and I said would happen for 1,000 years already. It feels like 1,000 years to me, okay? That is hyper inflating super debt. It can't stop. It won't stop. And it's deliberate. The system is illiquid. The system is running out of, even though it's flush with debt, there's not enough of it. So that's why you're seeing skyrocketing debts and deficits and everything else. And central banks are more. This creature is more than willing to lend. because that's a central bank's single power. And what they're hoping for is a violent uprising. You want to end central banking? We could do this quietly. We could end it. We could destroy the system if we had enough people. I got what? 250,000 people that follow this. If I had, I don't need a lot more. I need 10, 20, 50 times that. And we all went to these institutions and pulled our cash out at the same time. We could kill the system. We could kill the system. $1 is all it would take. $1. If we could stop the Fed, I'm going to tell you again for the gazillion time, but listen a little more closely this time. If we could stop one central bank, let's say the Fed, from issuing $1 more, we could bring the entire system down. And that would start a domino effect. And each one of these, they would collapse. And we, the people, would take back our power. If we are forced to live like this, and it ain't going to change anytime soon, I don't care what you may think. Okay, you're looking for that savior deity to be beamed down behind the Resolute desk, and maybe it's going to be whoever you think it's going to be. It ain't happening. I told you it wasn't going to happen last time, and you didn't believe me. Okay, I said it ain't happening. All he did, I'm referring to Trump, was make the Fed monumentally stronger. How? Do you think that economy was real that we had under him? It was about easy money like it is now. And now we're just seeing the side effect of all that easy money that was pumped into the system under him and the freak before him and this current freak too, and all the other freaks. That's all they've been doing. Pumping, and pumping. Do you remember the fit that Trump had when he's, they can't raise rates. You mean, wait a minute, the Fed's going to raise rates? No, I want negative rates so you can pay the banks. That's going to make you real happy, ain't it? You people who have this faith in this man are got to be deranged. Doesn't work for you. It's the savior deity complex. Okay, stop with this. It's too much. Anyway, people, look, this guy here loves you a lot from the heart. I'm a passionate guy. You all know that. I get crazy once in a while. But what would you when you have mummies and gargoyles around you, and you got who's the other freaks? We got the Greg, stop, Greg. We got that freak. We got the ghoul. And the other one, what the hell is the freaking other freak we got? We got freaks everywhere. People, Neil Cash and Carey, the freaking Lex Luthor of the Fed. John Lord, thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. We got each other, man. And that's what this is all about. We need to be ready for what they got. We have it. You think this is it? You think this is it? What we're seeing now? It's going exactly how you and I said it would. It's crumbling. It's crumbling, and it's being done by design. This ain't no freaking comedy of errors, people. You got it? Anyway, look, what does it mean for you and me? What does it mean for you and me? What's our solution here? Raising our awareness, trying to get more people to understand what's happening here. Stop being blinded, okay? Stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems. Fix them yourself, okay? And I know a lot of people are waiting for that. We're going back to a gold standard. You're going to see, Greg, the Fed's going to go away. You're going to see that too. Really? Heard that last time. Didn't happen. Ain't going to happen now either. No matter what they do and whatever the thing they put behind the Resolute desk. Right? One boiler Bengal. You get it. All right, look, I think I'm done here today. I'm just freaking sweating. Me, I do not have Goldstein. I got a crush on you. I don't have a crush on this other thing. Although you bear a striking resemblance to Goldstein, and she's kind of creepy. I love all of you. I mean that. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I will see you in the morning. I am going to saddle up, get in my race car, and an hour from now, I'll be going 160 miles an hour with my hair on fire. I'll see you in the morning.